You know, it's really ridiculous. I do think about psychology a lot. And I'm not, it's not like I'm a good manipulator, because I'm really not. I've never really been the manipulative type, and I don't really know how to manipulate somebody into doing what I want. I don't know if it's because I'm a very honest person, and I think that just comes through. And that's why I think people see me, and I generally get a very positive response from most people when I put very little effort into meeting them. They're like, "Hey, buddy, what's going on?" I'm like, I'm just minding my business. So I think people just know I'm a good person. And like I said, I've never been the manipulative type. If, say my ex had just broke up with me, I was pissed off at her. And, your first thought is, well, how can I get her to come back? And then I thought, well, if she doesn't want to come back, I'm not going to be spiteful with her. I'm pissed off at her, but I'm not going to, I'm feeling so down in the dumps right now. I actually got over it pretty quick. I'm kind of surprised. But, yeah, I do think about psychology a lot, and what goes on in the world, and what has been going on in the world, is there's always a shitload of guys in positions of power who want to keep everything the way it is because they're raking in cash and also, are controlling the world more or less. I mean, I'm not going to point at any one guy. I'm not going to say it's one guy at the top, but it's basically like the idea right now, and has been for a long time, is that military, funding makes money. So basically, my theory was September 11th was an inside job, because it is fucking crazy. You never see shit like that. And what are the odds that these guys could pull this shit off? And then Osama bin Laden gets blamed for it, which, he probably did do it. But I have no doubt that there are guys that, like, for instance, Dick Cheney, who was, he runs Halliburton, or was, whatever. He basically, behind, Bush was just a figurehead. And if Bush acts stupid, I already did this YouTube, if Bush acts stupid, even though he's not, we'll say, oh, our president's just dumb. It's okay, he's dumb. You can get away with it. But basically, him and his friends made an ass lot of money because, you have one terrorist attack, everyone's freaking out, military spending goes through the roof. But I have no doubt on the other side of the fence that the guys at the top are talking. And like, yeah, okay, we'll send, a couple hundreds of our soldiers into this area. You send a couple of hardcore guys in there. They'll sort it out. We'll both claim losses, and no one will be any further along. It's kind of like 1984, actually, where they have this, war going on, and there is not really a war. It's basically, I would have no doubt, both guys at the top of the U.S. and over in Afghanistan or whatever are in cahoots on everything, which is why nothing gets solved. So they just keep throwing money into war, into selling weapons, and, of course, it's moving our weapons along really well, like new technology, but it's not really that great. All that money could be going to so many other things. Like, we need to fucking move away from war. War is fucking stupid. You can't make, even if we wanted to change things over there with violence, you can't rule from around the world. It doesn't work. Which is why the fucking, war costs, like $1 billion a day for the U.S. to fight, which is ridiculous. And they basically destroyed the middle class. They want to keep rich people up here. It's like a pyramid. Rich people at the top, very small percentage. Everyone else underneath. So then basically everyone else underneath has no power, cannot change their lives, are just scrambling to survive because we got to be in survival mode all the time. And then the media keeps pumping out the fear so that you keep thinking you have to buy things, just like was said in Bowling for Columbine. We need to get away from war. War is fucking stupid. It never solves anything. There's nothing worth going to war over. You know what I mean? Like, dethroning Saddam Hussein, I did a YouTube on this, but I deleted it and I never really got around to doing it. Saddam Hussein kept the region stabilized, I guess. I don't really know for sure, but based on what I was reading, there were people that suffered under his rule, but most people were happy with him because he kept the fucking place under wraps. You have to be a hardcore asshole motherfucker to rule down there. And if you look at all the neighbors, they're all doing the same thing. They're all evil assholes. But let's go after Saddam Hussein, under the guise of, let's stop terrorism. Supposedly, him and Osama bin Laden didn't even get along. They just both hate America. But killing Saddam Hussein was one of the stupidest things because it keeps the region stabilized. But that's to their advantage because then they can just keep saying, oh, it's still destabilized. Let's keep throwing more money at it, throwing more soldiers at it. And the guys at the top keep high-fiving each other and making a shitload of money. It just blows my mind that, if you want to be in the military is an honorable profession. My uncle's in the military. I was thinking about it for a long time. I just never got around to it. I probably would have been a good officer because, I'm able to hyper-focus on something, but I'd be a shitty one because other times I can't focus at all, right? Like, it's just, if they let me just do what I want. So anyway, yeah, it's just, we need to fucking change the way things work in life. And when politicians, here's another thing that fucking pisses me off. Politicians come in and they promise all this shit. I'm going to lower taxes. I'm going to do this. Yeah, let's elect the guy. He gets in, and maybe he does lower taxes, but you got to realize if you lower taxes, you lower services. So lowering taxes is not a good idea. What you need to do is more effectively use the tax dollars. Like keep the taxes the same or raise them a little bit, but then you get much more out of it, you know? But there should be a hardcore group of number crunchers who do all the work. You know what I mean? We need to really, instead of saying, oh yeah, let's make a bunch of money disappear, you know, politicians, fucking dirty, greedy hands, you know, all this shit happens. Human greed pisses me off. It's one of the worst things we have. And it's basically limitless, too. We need to do away with the whole political thing. I don't understand politics. I mean, this whole minority, majority, houses thing, I don't get a fucking lick of it because it's so overly complicated, yet everybody but me gets it. And they're all right into it. And I'm like, I think this is all stupid. Why don't we throw all these guys out, take their salaries, and, like, use it for a lot? I mean, we could take all this money that's going to these guys' fucking salaries, and we could use it to get guys like me. I mean, I'm not going to brag here, but I mean, I'm a decent, honest person. I'm hardworking. I grew up hardworking. My mom worked her fucking ass off for me. I'm the type of guy who can't be bought. I mean, you could promise me all this shit. I would never do something against my morals for money. I mean, I've had chances to steal from people, and I would have never gotten caught, and I didn't because I'm a fucking moral person. So somebody like me, is a hardworking Joe, becomes a representative for, say, Moncton, which is not a huge town, on my behalf of Moncton, I go and talk to the government and tell them we need things. So we cut the politicians right the fuck out. And I'm on, the people's side, not the government side. The government does their own thing. We do our own thing. But say if we need, roads fixed or we need whatever, I go to some guy and I tell him, here's what needs to be done. Can we please have this done? What's the budget? Here's the amount of taxes we raised. Just get rid of the politicians. Politicians have been fucking useless since they came out. The only politician you trust is a dead one. And even then. Anyway, just psychology is amazing. I find people are very much ruled by their own reverse psychology. I'm just spitballing here, guys. I'm fucking sick, and I just took a NyQuil, so I'm fucking woo. But anyway, people are always ruled by their own reverse psychology, and it blows my mind that people don't ever stop. I mean, women are bad for going back to the same fucking asshole dirtbag, because part of their reverse psychology, or part of their whatever, is that I've got to try to change him, and that's something that's been bred into women since time immemorial, and I think it's been caveman days. The guys want to just do war parties and go out and smash, and the girls realize the only way I'm going to get this guy is to change him and bring him home and make him domesticated. He doesn't want to be domesticated, so she just keeps going and going and going forever, and that's why girls are attracted to assholes. It's like evolutionary psychology or something like that. Anyway, I wish people would just stop and realize, that you got to think about what's happening to you. You got to think about the choices you're making and realize just because you get this gut feeling, I got to snap and do this, it's not necessarily the best choice, right? Like going back to the same asshole forever or treating women like shit. I mean, I hate guys because guys are bad for ruining women, and by the time they get to me, they think I'm just another jerk off guy who's going to treat them like shit, and I'm a nice guy and I can never get a girlfriend. Well, actually, lately I've been really popular with the ladies, but that's neither here nor there. I'm fucking just rolling here, boys and girls, and just fucking all over the place. Yeah, so anyway, reverse psychology, where was it going? Oh, guys are bad for using girls and treating them like shit. Women are bad for knowing a guy likes them and just absorbing all that attention, all that, I'm not going to say money grubbing, but, I mean, if a guy wants a girl, he takes her out to a movie and a dinner, she'll just absorb that even though she has no issues with just taking it and giving him no boyfriend action at all. So it's almost like guys are bad for trolling sex. We are the fucking absolutely worst. The worst for trolling for sex all the time. I mean, if there's sex to be had, we will troll for it. In the most inappropriate places, we're awful. But women are just as bad for trolling for attention. And, getting that boyfriend attention, yet not giving the boyfriend action back. I'll take the boyfriend aspects of it that I like, but not chain myself down to you, I'm sure I had better points to make on reverse psychology. It's just, people need to stop fucking listening to their guts. It's terrible. Use your fucking